Hey everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Never Split the Party. We are playing PyStAl's Starfinder. This is episode... Ooh, do we ever change the episode title on Twitch?
Probably
That's a
not.
weird episode number.
We are probably one episode ahead of whatever we listed on Twitch, which was that 28 or 29?
I think it was
28.
28.
So we should be 29.
So this is episode 29 of our Starfinder stream. We are hoping tonight is going to be the last episode for our prologue arc. We'll have a bit of a gap in between jumping into the next arc where Nick will be running a one-shot. I'll have him talk about that in a bit. Otherwise, though, we're all in Massachusetts, which is currently buried under feet of snow. Feet of snow? Yep. And the fun thing there is that if anyone loses power, that will I probably won't want to continue the story without all of the players, so we might jump into something else if for some reason somebody loses power.
Yeah, Patrick.
Hello.
I've been without power all day, so it's probably
I'm
going
just
to be
getting
me
ready
if it
for it.
does happen.
All right. If I could have everyone do introductions, then we'll go into announcements. I will do a very brief recap, not that I remember what happened last time, and then we'll jump into the actual episode and get this thing done. For the beginning of the announcements, my name is Dustin. I also go by the Arbitrary Nerd, and I am the GM for this campaign.
My name is Patrick. I am playing Reich Oren, the Lashunta Envoy.
I'm Michael. Nope.
I thought you were waiting for me to do it, so I just said it so you go.
Nope.
Can't go until he says he's handsome. We know it's coming.
He stopped. All right.
No, you go.
All right. I'm Michael, and I am playing Zero, the android operative.
I'm Chris. I play Miller, Dotwood, Abigail Priest, a Yosoki mechanic, and a Dark and Good one at it.
I'm Nick, and I play Brawl, who's a Yosoki soldier. And I wasn't going to point out that Dustin said, let's begin the announcements by saying, hi, I'm Dustin, and not introductions. But I'll leave it at that.
This is an announcement. I'm Dustin. Sometimes I'm not.
Some people don't know that. So,
Yeah, announced.
Anyways, hi, I'm Justin. I play Seeker, the android technomancer, who thinks Rye is pretty handsome.
Oh.
So even
boy.
Justin's going to be shipping them.
Ship.
I've been shipping them since the beginning. Come on.
No.
No. So we know that Rye and Zero are going to the ship together.
Yeah, I will
have plenty of guns.
say current fan ship and cast ship is going to be Ryan Seeker. Just so if anyone's wondering, if anyone's looking to draw some fan art, that's what we're
No.
specifically
How many times we
You
said
can put
Reich Oren and the Android Seeker.
you can put what's her name in there too, Chimera or Chimera.
You,
Chimera.
Chimera.
Too bad I don't play a gnome, because then he could do the gnome and I.
But you got so much good mixed media art to do with Rye.
All right, before this goes in any more of a tangent, we're going to get into announcements. Nick, go first, please.
All right, upcoming we have PAX East, which myself, Chris, and maybe others will be attending. So if you're going to PAX East, drop on by. And
Our
say
very own
hello.
Steviathan's definitely going too.
Steviathan's definitely going. Okay, Steviathan's going to be there too. We will be there at least Friday and Saturday. I don't think we have any plans for Sunday, but we will be around all day. If you want to say hello, maybe Rye will give us some autographs to hand out on his behalf.
Where would they drop by?
Anywhere. Contact us or contact me. via
Discord's a good
Twitter,
place.
Or hit us up on Discord, yeah.
and we can schedule a meetup. Outside of that, I do have the one shot that I'm hosting next week. That might be a two shot. I have no idea.
About that.
It'll be my first time DMing anything ever. So
Can't wait to screw it up.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be great. I have a
And-
pretty solid idea of what I expect the
Your
players to go
characters.
through, but not what's actually going to happen. And characters are mostly built, but we'll see how all that goes. They could be over in like 10 minutes. It could be over in like 5 hours. I
And
don't
you
know.
got Dustin as a player, so good luck with that one. Coming from experience, good luck with that one.
So I might be the GM because no one wants me as a player. It's entirely possible. We'll actually have footage of me as a player up on our YouTube soon because I joined Ask a Pathfinder's one-shot in the Raynor setting, which is coming from Storm Bunny Games. So that'll be coming up soon. I guess that's an announcement I forgot I had. Nick, did you have anything else you wanted to say?
That's all I've got. I think.
All right, I'm getting told in another Discord that I am not doing clickable links for some reason.
We'll do
That's fine.
clickable links.
www.twitch.tv/never.
We're gonna cut this. We're gonna cut. Anyways,
No, anyways. I forgot what I was saying. Don't worry about it.
Announcements. Ask a Pathfinder. YouTube. Next.
Next up, we already talked about this is going to be the end of our arc, so I have a little bit of shilling to do, and that is going to be, it's called, so we've mentioned it a couple times on stream already, kind of as an in-universe thing, but it's called Lasers and Liches. It is from a retroverse setting coming from Twitter user Snicklesocks, which is at SNICKELSOX. It's from one of my absolute favorite artists on Twitter right now too, or at least that's where I find him. And it's what is he? He's changed his name so many times now. Yes, but he's changed his actual handle, or what I know it as, and I don't see it on there. But even so, when you check out the Lasers and Liches on their website, you will see it. The reason why we're pitching it now, Justin, do you have those images? Could you show them on the screen?
Already done.
Awesome. So we've got some of the fantastic art, which just looked really exciting. And they're doing very much like everything's going to be in the theme of throwback, retroverse, retro classes, retro characters, retro races. Really excited about what they're doing. Reason why we're showing it now is they're actually coming to Kickstarter on looks like April 10th is the date that I'm showing on Twitter. And I'm absolutely going to be kickstarting that because that looks super, super awesome. And I've already offered to help them convert to Starfinder. I don't know if they'll actually take me up on that. But
excuse me, but is that a nacho and or pizza monster? I think it's like made out of cheese and it has like pizza slices for like teeth.
It is a pizza monster. I think it's a pizza ooze is what it was.
I couldn't tell if it was nachos or pizza.
It's a ooze.
But it looks really good.
Right here.
I'd eat it.
Yeah, either way, though, it looks really cool. They've been putting a ton of work into it. And if you check out the Twitter for both Snicklesocks and the artist, which I'm sorry I don't have it in front of me.
That name kills me.
Snicklesocks? Oh, please, Gut Skitter. Shut up.
I didn't say I hate it. I love it.
The laser dragon.
Should we send Snicklesocks some Snickers socks?
Moving on.
It's just...
Alrighty. I think that's all I have for announcements. I just wanted to give a shill there. I'm pretty excited for it, so check it out. And when Kickstarter comes around, we'll probably blast it again. I invited them to the chat, but I think they are actually streaming on their channel something right now, so I couldn't get them to come hang out and chat and answer questions. But maybe in the future that'll happen. All right. Anyone else have any announcements? Perfect. Recap for last week's episode. Miller tried to break the game again, which is fun.
Right.
So the fun part about last episode is we actually split the party. We have Zero and Rye, who have decided to head back to the ship, which is currently in Industrial Dome 1. And they have to get there before a half hour passed because the hallways between the domes were locking down. On their way there, they noticed that there were guards posted in the form of the Crimson Tri-Blades. Instead of engage them heroically and have a wonderful final showdown for somebody, they decided to use tricksy hobbit maneuvers and drop flash and smoke grenades and then sprint on past. Currently, we are the camera is following the Crimson Tri-Blades as they are following Rye's coattail as he pumps away trying to get down the hallway, and Zero is already catching up and passing Rye, even though he started a little bit after. That's where we'll pick up with them. If we jump back into Central Dome, we are with Miller, we are with Seeker, and we're with Brawl, and they are down in Chimera, the magistrate's wife's secret hangar down there. They have used a ship cutting tool, an industrial tool, to cut through the floor of the dome, which is the giant structure that everything's taking place in. And when they poked their head out, they saw that the Border Space Union fleet has kind of moved out as far as they can tell but maintaining some sort of perimeter. And they saw their first picture of what appears to be a anime-style mecha. Hey! That's going to be coming soon in terms of rules and fun stuff like that. It's a little bit more homebrew we've added in. Did I miss anything pertinent for your either side stories?
No. I don't think so.
Alrighty. I believe we left off with the cutting crew last time, but they were only given a short time. We're actually going to pick up right now with the crew that are in Central Dome, which again that's Miller, Seeker, and Brawl. Miller, you have just poked your head out, seen what you've seen, in the vastness of space as you look down on the floor or the tier below of domes. That one flying, very quick mobile suit of some sort, mobile armor of some sort, and what do you do?
Can I do an engineering check or something to see if I know what this is?
No, I'll give it to you right now. One, you're very far away. It's something that you're only seeing because it's actively moving, and you see like emissions from it. In terms of it, though, it's not something that you would have seen before. If you had to make like a engineer's best guess, it looks like a supersized power armor. Power armor exists in the Starfinder universe. It's like a miniaturized mech suit that like gives you additional armor and mechanized joints and all that fun stuff, and weaponry. This would be that, but much bigger. I think it was. I'm not going to give you a perfect size because you're too far away, but it's significantly bigger than a person.
All right. Next question then. I guess it's too far away to have noticed me then.
You don't notice it noticing you, correct?
Okay. Well, then I'm gonna hop back on my main priority here and see if I can disable these black boxes. Do I see any of the black boxes?
Yes, there are 4 black boxes. You came out near one, and they're about, let's say they're probably about 40 feet away from each other, and they make like a square, and you're just kind of close-ish to one of the corners.
All right. I'll kind of message to the other two. Hey guys, this some sort of crazy power arm out here wreaking havoc. It's a little far, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to disable these black boxes and whatnot. Keep a lookout.
Do you not want us to assist you with the black boxes?
Oh, yeah, you guys do have engineering. Yeah. Come on out.
I thought we all went down.
You guys are all kind of like crowded in the hole, but Miller was the one who poked his head out. You guys didn't make the hole too big, mostly because the tool you were using got sucked into space as soon as the hole was big enough. So it's probably less than like a 5-foot actual hole. You guys can kind of squeeze through. The Yosoki don't really have much of a problem, despite how thick Brawl is. And Seeker can get through with just being careful. Your armor does come, obviously, with environmental gear, so you guys are able to exit the station into the vacuum of space. The room above you has already vented the atmosphere. Again, you guys made sure there wasn't too much out there, so the only thing that actually jettisoned from the system was the large cutting tool. And it's right now just joining the myriad of debris from all of the departing spaceships that have been blown to shreds. And also now the remnants of the dead dome, which has been Miller watched its last gasp as the Border Space Union's fleet tore it apart with their massive laser cannons.
Do I see any of the other domes?
When you look like down, so if you're looking straight down, like face pressed up against the floor, you would see now 3 domes below you, making like a square pattern. One of the corners,
1 and 2, and facility.
Factory Dome. Factory 1. Technically, the Dead Dome's traditional or original name was Factory Dome 2. That's the one that just got destroyed. So it looks like you've got 1, 2, 3, and then missing.
Cool. All right. So Miller kind of scampers to the nearest box. Scampers in the most 0G way possible.
With equipped mag boots and things helping you stick to the station. You're able to do so without too much of a problem. It's a little bit slower moving. You guys don't have you guys have enough of your move speed, but like running or sprinting isn't going to happen. But you make it to one of the boxes. It's pretty big. You already had the dimensions last time, and you take better notes than I do, so it's that.
How long does it take us to get from where we cut the hole to the first black box? Because we are in like a time-sensitive.
Moments. They're minutes away.
8 to 10 feet tall.
Yeah, they're not uniform. They're about 10. We'll say most of them are around 10ish feet tall. They're rectangular or a cube, and was that 3 feet wide?
3 meters. No.
3 meters. Oh, all right. Yeah, they were. Sorry,
No,
I was using metric for a number of things, including the mobile suit height, which is used
or 2 meters or something. I don't know. Oh, whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna try to disable them. Do I see anything that looks like maybe some sort of like a box that I could kind of pull out and mess with some wires?
So actually, it looks like the case you're looking at might be armor.
Okay.
So as in it's specifically encasing it to protect it. However, knowing what its function is, if you were to maybe climb to the top of the structure and look at that, like the end that you can't see right now, you may feel that that's where you'd find something to work with.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure. So again, because you're using mag boots and you're in 0G, you could either shut your mag boots off or climb on the surface, whatever works for you. And when you get to the top of it, which isn't a difficult climb, there's not quite an access panel, but the armor that's still protecting it, and it's dark armor, which is supposed to make this thing also a little camouflage against the bottom of the station and the vastness of space. There is like a release or pressure release area here. It's supposed to come off by design. You'd be able to jimmy it off without too much of a problem, like wedge like a tool under it and pry it off. Again, it's not swinging open like it's supposed to, but it's supposed to pop off.
With a screwdriver and a hammer, we just go to town on it.
Done. Yeah, you pull it right out of like your utility belt, crush it, put it on back down. Yeah, the panel flies away, and then what you're looking at in there, it looks to be some sort of advanced thruster.
Oh. Like
would be on a spaceship or a space shuttle.
All right, then we're gonna disable it. Yeah.
So you'd have a couple ways of disabling it. Give me an engineering check to see what you would maybe think is the best, or at least what your full options would
be.
24.
24. Did you get the assist?
Yes.
26.
If you want, I can assist, and I have over a 10. So.
Nah, 26 is enough. So you have. Realistically, you've got two solutions, barring any Miller engineering, and they would be to destroy it entirely, which would be the most time-consuming but most effective because someone couldn't come and undo what you did very quickly. Or you could just muck around with wires. I mean, every single component of this is pretty important. Pulling anything out from the thruster component is going to make something go poorly. That's not necessarily safe for everyone in the system if you did it in such a way that maybe you just rewired things, because that could cause some feedback or something. But you would be able to like unplug enough components of this thing where it just shouldn't function as intended. I will say
Can I do a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B?
How many of their black boxes are there?
4.
If
on this dome, Miller, I don't think was looking for a count, and I'm not sure if the same count was for the lower domes. I don't remember if we told him there was 4 or not in the lower domes.
Okay.
There's 4 on this dome.
What if I go to one of the next boxes, start busting it up while you guys start disabling the others?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, would it be possible to get to any of the other domes from here, from the outside?
So in terms of actually getting there, it would be pretty time consuming. You guys are
you to jump across space jump spump?
Yeah, you could space jump, but the distance is pretty significant, and you guys don't have anything by way of
propulsion,
natural thrust. Now you guys may be able to work them in
spacesuits.
What was that?
I have thrust. I keep one on me at all times. It's called a fire extinguisher.
Oh God, you do have a fire extinguisher.
I legitimately have it on my character sheet.
Which is always in pencil, which infuriates me to no end.
What I'm afraid of is where he's been hiding it.
I would imagine that spacesuits have some form of small propulsion, enough to like actually.
Nope.
Yeah,
but they're a spacesuit.
So most spacesuits don't have.
They have little like.
You're not in like a giant white, like with a huge backpack spacesuit.
I'm not talking about like
gear.
I'm not talking like actual thrusters.
No, you're talking about like correction, like
yeah.
Which, no, you don't have it.
I would imagine they should, considering that's pretty standard on anybody that's going out into space.
But you're
Like-
not. Your gear isn't supposed to go out of space. It's supposed to protect you from extreme environments of space. Not the same thing.
That's
I don't know.
convenient.
What you're talking about is
But-
equipment in the book that you didn't purchase. Your GM says no. If you ask again, a falling sprock hits you while you're outside of the station and Secret dies. Thank you. Moving on.
Good job.
So you can jump. It would just take time, and unless you're using Miller's fire extinguisher, and even then, it's still going to take a decent amount of time. And
We
you're
lost Nicholas.
like lost.
He's
no
Oh
longer
yeah,
on
he's
screen.
gone.
Hold. Let's try and call him. I think my
I'll
phone
take
just-
care of it. You continue.
So, Twitch followers, we are currently experiencing technical difficulties. We thank you for your patience.
So everybody looks weird because Nick left the call, so it's kind of.
In the meantime, please direct your attention to Michael, who will serenade us with a song.
That's your job. That is very much your job.
Michael, who will serenade us with a song.
Who eloquently points back to Pat.
Uh,
That's not a song.
all right. I'm gonna actually jump over to the other two while you guys are figuring out what to do with the boxes. We're gonna hang out with Rye and Zero, and Justin. For the time being, do you want to just move us to
The
like
after
the
party
after
screen?
party?
Yeah. So it looks a little better.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll take off the after party logo. There you go.
Appreciate it. Sorry, guys, for our basic overlay. I will say part of the relaunch will have us with a new overlay, which I'm really excited for. We've got CJ working on it, but for now, let's keep going back with the story. With Zero and Rye, you guys are currently sprinting down the hallway, trying to break the pursuit of the Crimson Tri-Blades, the three folks in crimson armor following you guys down the hallway. Zero, just due to your enhanced speed, these guys are wearing big armor. They're moving normal, but they're not anywhere catching up to you. You end up going straight on past Rye. Do you do anything as you pass Rye in the hallway?
I tell him to drop the smoke grenade.
Okay, and I'm assuming you just keep on going though, and you're running, right?
Once I feel that I'm at a far enough distance, I'll turn around with my sniper rifle and take a pot shot to hopefully cause them to slow down and take cover.
No.
I just got off the phone with Nick. He lost power for like a split second. He's trying to hop on right now.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll keep going, and we'll just come back to you guys after we get
Yep.
through these. Query: are you trying to shoot before or after the smoke grenade?
It would be me I would keep going and I would wait for them to come out of the smoke.
Okay, all right. So you're gonna keep doing that. Zero runs up ahead and kind of is preparing his rifle for a quick-ish shot backwards. Rye, what are you doing as Zero pulls away ahead of you, sprinting?
Shouting out, "That's cheating! You have robot legs!"
Are you doing anything with the smoke grenade he recommended you drop?
I was already gonna do that, just so you know.
Yes, of course.
Do you do the thing?
Yeah, so we're just running down a hallway. There's no offshoots or anything.
No, the hallway is like a straight shot. There might be like janitor's closets or maintenance like rooms, but those are very, very tiny. This hallway is pretty much just a straight shot down, and it runs for about a mile too. You guys this is a hefty run.
How far behind us are they?
Not very. They're going to be keeping pace with you at least. It's just the fact that Zero actually has 40 feet of movement mechanically. He outpaces all of you.
I will do that and hope for the best when it comes to the effects of the smoke grenade.
Sure.
Maybe they'll slow down. So yeah, I as I'm running, I try to line up my left hand with the right hand to get the pin. But I'm frantically running. And,
All right.
and I do the thing. I do the needful.
Give me a I want to see a dexterity check to see. It's gonna. I mean, you're just dropping it basically, but I want to see how you actually manage this while running. Just give me a quick dexterity check. It's very small, but
It's just Dex. It's 21.
you rolled a 1.
I
No.
rolled a nat 20.
Oh, all right.
So I'm juggling. I'm juggling it.
I think it's more like one of those things where like you're running, and as you come up, you like get it in your teeth, take it off, you spin a little bit, see them, panic for a moment because they're way closer than you thought they would be, and you just hurl it back there, and it connects immediately with the lead person's forehead.
Yeah.
They're running full sprint after you guys. They're actually like sprinting, and their heavy armor like clanging down this hallway. It connects with them directly in the forehead, and he's out. He's not knocked unconscious, but like you floor him where he's like running forward. He's like boom and like clothesline, and then the smoke like erupts into all of their faces, and like they're running, so they're breathing heavy. They're they're moving in heavy armor. This is full gravity in the hallway, maybe slightly reduced gravity, but not enough to matter. And they inhale the smoke effect, which means they need to make some saves. And I don't remember which the save was for the smoke grenade.
I think it was 16. Or I know it was 16 for me. I don't know if
it was
for Ryan.
15 plus a number that I'm looking up.
And we said they're all reflex, right? That was the silly thing?
It's different for specifically smoke bombs. It is...
See, I figured that would be something like fortitude.
15 plus 1 per previous check. So it's going to be a DC 15.
DC 15?
Fortitude.
Fortitude, okay. And we'll do this in order. And what is their fortitude save? So with the first guy, it's a +4. He hits a 14. So the guy you domed right in the head immediately starts gagging on the smoke, and you can hear him gagging as he gets back. The lady of the trio, not that I think you guys identified which one that was, but we'll say one off to the left, also begins hacking up immediately. And I believe this is one that you guys got last time, coughing too. So you recognize that sputter a little bit. And oh god, the last one rolled a 4. Yeah, okay, all of them, each and every one. I guess like they see it connect with his forehead, and they're both like ooh, and like as they do that, they suck in air, and it's just enough to get the smoke into their lungs. They're all stopped running. They can no longer run anymore. They're too busy hacking and spitting and sputtering. And that's actually give you guys enough of a spiel you guys keep sprinting. As long as you don't stop doing stupid, you're good. Chase over.
I keep sprinting. I turn around. I hear the hacking. I turn back. Now I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed with one arm straight up in the air, and I shout, "Yeehaw!"
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. So you guys have managed to at least get them off of your case for a bit. I will say that if you are planning on stopping anywhere, you need to be thoughtful about it, because they are still in pursuit as far as you know. They're just not they're not able to catch up to you.
When we get to the end of this hallway, I'd like to try to lock the door.
So the doors don't have controls like that. The only places where the hallways close are and actually I think with your timeline, you probably start to see this happen as they come behind you. There's every 30 feet or something like that. It's probably every 50 feet. I said this is a long hallway. Every 50 feet, you see these effectively blast doors or hermetically sealed doors start lowering. And as you guys are nearing the exit, you hear, 5 minutes until hallway closure. Please plan accordingly. Have a nice day. From the system intercom. So you won't actually have access to anything. There might be a panel at the end you could screw with, or also it's 5 minutes until they lock down and they're already running through what is actively closing, because it prepares to close for 5 minutes. It's not so much that in 5 minutes that process is started.
All right, in that case, we'd probably rather just try to get to our ship and out of sight, out of mind.
Okay, so your first stop is your ship.
Do we come across Archie or any of them since we are sprinting? Because I imagine we'd be moving quicker than them.
They would have had to go through the same hallway as you. They would have been going pretty quickly as well. Now, who said they were going to the ship? I don't remember. Was it? So I know Patrick was going to the ship. Patrick, the dock controller, or the ex-dock controller. Right. Archie was Archie going to the ship, or was he meeting at Rice Oven with people?
Archie was all sorts of emo.
Right, but when
I think he was sticking.
Didn't we also have them when you sent the message? Weren't you sending him a message to
meet at Rice Oven?
Yeah, the message, and he's been giving them details and information for what he's encountered, like as terms of like what the black box is, like where the black boxes are, sort of. And it was like the whole documentation. He's been trying to get people to help out. I don't think he's told anyone to actually meet anywhere.
And no, I told everyone to actually. I mean,
at the ship. I'm sorry. You meet at Rice Oven LLC, but no other locations have been given since then. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
So
right.
I think
I just misunderstood. Like I thought we had like when the timeline reaches a certain point, head to our ship.
No, that was not in the communication. Well, I mean, again, hopefully you guys wouldn't need everyone to go to the ship is the ideal. If everyone was working, coordinating anyways. I know what. When we jump back to you guys, Miller, remind me, you're getting an intercom ping.
Okay.
Or you're getting you got one before you broke through the seal, because that's when the messages stopped again. You did get one right at the last second. That I'll give you a moment to reply to. I forgot to cover that. But no, so the only people you would maybe encounter are Patrick, the dock controller, but he actually left way before you guys. And I think he's already with Stevethan, who is in Industrial 1 as well. So everyone you're waiting for should be at the ship.
Okay.
Everyone else is kind of where they're at.
Nick's back. Hey! We're gonna cut this. We're gonna cut.
Stop that.
Now everybody's all out of place.
Justin, can you adjust us while we keep going?
I am.
Thank you. Nick, is that going to be a recurring thing, you think?
No, my power only went out for literally like a split second, and then like my computer didn't turn off. The light in this room turned off, and I know my router was affected because I couldn't get back on the internet. But I should be okay.
Okay. I'm really just trying to kill time so Justin can get us all in the right area.
Gotcha. What did I miss?
Everything, dude. Yeah, we're all died.
I jumped over to Zero and Rye, and they've been running down the hallway.
If power goes out, you die.
You did say that.
Out, Brawl just started walking towards a wall and kept going. It was the weirdest thing.
Actually, Rye pulled off a really cool stunt and managed to get all of the pursuers off their back.
My grenade physically hit the right person.
Oh my god!
He followed Zero's advice. That's why it worked so well.
I must give you your bad grenade luck.
You guys do realize what this means, though. I've now had positive confirmation that grenades are the right way to go.
Oh yeah,
as far
with that success rate.
Pat, have you seen the memes that I've been posting?
I saw the one.
There was a couple.
There were a couple.
Yeah, brought to you by Steve.
It's Leviathan, man.
Oh, you're gonna have to. Are they in the Discord?
Yeah. They are in the Discord. They're also both on Twitter. If you want to check that out. Are we good, Justin?
Yeah, we're good.
Thank you, man. All right. So with your guys heading towards the ship,
one quick question: was there anybody guarding this side of the tunnel?
Oh, very good question. No, and I'll give you a freebie, just so that way you guys have the logic behind why there was guards at all. It wasn't GM magic. It was more, you guys are in the dome with the dock. The Pyramid Station Alpha does not have a dock in every single dome. There might be some personal docks for the especially affluent, some secret docks depending on what your status is. You're the only two main thoroughfare of docks where you can keep your ship, get your ship, Industrial 1 and Industrial 2. When you go to either of those, any of the hallways connecting to those domes, I'll give you a spoiler, would have been guarded, and I had different guards for each one. Had you been going to... Who do we lose now? Chris?
You lost Chris.
Yep. All right. Nick, could I have you call Chris? And Nick, you might be muted.
Yes, I am.
Okay. And Justin, you want to put us in the after party without the after party? Thank you. I think we're just going to stay here tonight, folks. I'm really sorry that our last ARC episode is going to be in Zoom view, but that's fine. It'll be fine. I was saying something about the guards. I'm just giving you spoilers. The only guards would have been if you were trying to get to the two domes that have the major docking areas. So you guys are past the guards there. In Rye's mental scape of where he had kind of picked the brain of one of the lieutenants leading this insurgency or whatever, this takeover. You guys don't have any schedule or anything for the lower tiers. You only picked up his central dome. He's back, Nick. Nick, thank you. Is that
What?
He's back.
Yeah, I know. I was telling him.
Oh, okay.
I can see the screen.
You just
And
weren't reacting.
back to the good screen.
Once I fix everybody again.
Characters are down. Dusty just wanted to kill the Ahsoki.
Yeah, both you
You're
so are now
welcome.
spirits.
2 down, 3 to go.
Brawl can't roll at all, and Miller rolls too high.
Balance it out.
So Chris lives pretty close to me, so I'm a little worried that my power's next, but we'll see.
It wasn't my power though. It was my internet. It was the cable line actually.
Well, my
I
internet's
wondered if,
traditionally
the cable company just kind of redirected power or something. I don't know.
We'll see. That's fine. We're playing through a snowstorm, so that's fine. If I was to move my my Star Wars skateboard, you'd see. I can see in this basement window. It's just packed with snow. You can't see anything out there, so that's fine.
Is it still snowing for you guys?
Yep.
Ours is done.
All right. So there are no guards. 0. What are you and Rye doing now that you're kind of still hustling it?
I'd say when we start to get close to the dock, we would probably slow down and then check for guards again before entering the dock.
Oh,
Sure.
you would? You would you?
Could I have you guys make perception checks while you are still moving pretty quickly through the dome?
So as we start to get close, I like put out my arm and slow him down. 'cause I
Okay.
didn't
Well,
actually
there
see
you
any
go.
of
I
this
was gonna
going
run
on.
right by you. I got to stay true to the character. I was gonna.
Well, because I wasn't saying this in character, I'm telling you what I was doing.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so perception check. I can do that.
I got a 24.
2
You
nat
got
20s in a row. Never gonna happen in combat.
Another nat 20, huh?
I got 25.
Yeah.
You guys actually then, I'll say both of you end up hearing it before you actually get to the where the dock area is, which is on the further edge of the dome. You actually hear that there is a confrontation going on. You can hear the discharge of like laser weapons. You hear the discharge of pistols and things like that. So this is not unfamiliar to that time you guys entered the Dead Dome and there was already a fight taking place. You guys hear that there is some sort of altercation right outside the docks. You don't see it quite yet. And you angle your approach from a non-standard vector. You guys kind of hit to the edge of the dome so that you guys can kind of, get a little bit more side view, still staying in the, in between buildings and things like ducking in and out of alleyways and things like that. When you get there, it does appear that there are 2 forces fighting in front of the docks. None of them notice you when you approach. They're very much focused on it, and they're pretty entrenched. There is Border Space Union soldiers with their white and kind of goldish armor, and they're standing. I think it's gold, is what we said last time. I'm changing it. These ones are white and gold. Eat it. And they are they've got turned over boxes. They've got tables pulled over, maybe a couple of kiosks just pulled over, and they're behind barricading the entrance is a little bit. It's not like a perfect barricade. There's definitely gaps. It's more they're trying to lay over fire where they are stopping people from getting access to the docks. Attempting to gain entrance, as you guys watch, appears to be maybe some of the gang elements. 0, you pretty quickly recognize at least some of Janar's men there. Janar himself in his overly stylish red coat has not made an appearance or is somewhere else. But you notice a couple of his men, some of his half-breeds is the name of his gang. They're not the only gangs represented, but I think that's the gang that you're most familiar with, and the party is most familiar with. So you guys notice that some of the criminal elements, which are traditionally stationed in Industrial 2, are trying to get into the docks of Industrial 1.
Are there any ways to get in outside of the main entrance to the docks?
No, it's if you guys are able to do that spacewalking nonsense, you would totally be able to kind of jump around it. But with the dome enclosure, the metal walls having come up over the glass material, or I guess the transparent material of the dome, you don't really have spacewalk as an option. You guys could potentially sneak through unnoticed by the Border Space Union. There's enough of a gap coming from the side, and they're very focused on the assault in front of them, which is, different thugs and gangsters kind of running up into the open, trying to get clear shots, or ducking back into alleyways. Because again, there's about 30 feet, I think, between the where the buildings begin and then the dock, because the dock is actually outside of the traditional dome. It's like the glass comes down, and then there's a big opening where you go into the dock area. And again, there's always space between actual residential buildings and the wall of the dome. So in this like 30 feet, there's like a bunch of bodies like piling up, most of them being criminal element, and they're still the forces are not evenly matched, but it's more that the Border Space Union with fewer men has the better position.
I want to take a look around, see if there are any downed Border Space Union specifically folks. Like
I'd say that there are one or two, and I'll just give it to you off of your Nat 20 perception roll. I don't need to make you roll again. Yeah, there's probably one or two on the outskirts that got picked off. Yes.
I immediately run to them and start taking off the uniform as quickly as I can.
That would put you in between line of fire from both sides.
Oh, that's why I was saying, are there any near me?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Not near you. They're downed on the outskirts of the fight, but they're very much on like the battlefield.
Okay.
No, the fight looks like it was been very much centered on that like 30 feet in between the street, or I should say the residential buildings and the dock entirely. It's very much been they're trying to get into the docks. And,
understood.
Yeah.
So we are not in the docks. We are also on the outside. We're just at a different angle. We can see it from the side, just so I understand. And to, let's say, our right is the entrance to the. I
have your left is the entrance to the dock. You guys are coming from the side, basically following up along the glass.
Cool.
And then on the right is all of the buildings, and then that's where the gangsters and thugs are shooting out.
All right, and since that's the only entrance to the dock, that's kind of our only option. Is this the dome with the playhouse, or that's too? This is okay.
Yep.
I'd like to do a recall. Which I think would recall knowledge, which I think would be my profession. I want to see if I remember there being any uniforms in the playhouse, border space, or close enough.
Yeah, you know what? Give me a recall knowledge. I'll give you that.
31.
Oh yeah. So not perfectly. No one would like openly dress up as like the military presence near them, but you could definitely mock something together. Not too difficult. It'll take some time, but you guys have kind of gotten past the initially time sensitive bit where you got through the docks. Through the hallway. Let me say, I actually have a bit of a timeline here for when this is. Nope.
Well, that's it's good enough for me. We'll be able to, in theory, bring on less attention from the border space as we pass by them, and also we won't be in the same clothes that the Crimson Triplades will remember. So I look over at Zero and say, "Follow me. I can make us look right." And I think back to what hallways are.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Zero, what is your response to Zero's ushering you away from the fight?
I'm not Zero.
Sorry, Zero being ushered away from the fight by Rye.
So you'll make us look all right, is what you say to me?
I will. Not really a whole heck of a lot of time, but if we get there, I can make you look like a border space union. I know you'll hate it, but let's just do it.
Interesting choice of words, but let's go.
Perfect. Okay, you guys are going to go to the playhouse. I'm going to need you both to make... Well, I don't really need Zero to do me a roll for that. Could I get a... I'm going to call it a profession roll, and then, you know what, Zero, give me a disguise roll. I want profession from Rye, and then I want disguise from both of you. I think disguise is the Pathfinder. I don't have my character sheet.
What's the profession roll for, if you don't mind me asking?
You're going to be going to the playhouse because you weren't part of the costuming group. People always brought you things. And it's going to be deserted. So you are going to need to see how long it takes you to get close. That's it. Basically, how long does it take you to put together an ensemble?
So 19 for my profession.
And 13 for disguise.
And what's your disguise, Rye?
20.
Maintain those numbers, the 20 and the 13. It was a 19 for getting the clothes. I'm going to say it doesn't take you very long. Maybe 5 minutes, you're able to throw something together to at least a mock-up. Enough that without close scrutiny, you'd probably be able to slip on by. We're going to leave it there, though. I'm going to jump back to the guys before anyone else uses power again. So if I could have you guys remember, we've got a 13 for stealth and I forgot rise already, but just keep those in your head.
20 for disguise. I didn't do a stealth roll yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was 19 for that. Roll a disguise then.
It was
You said
19 for
stealth?
session, 20 for disguise. You did not have us roll for stealth.
I'm sorry. If I said stealth, I didn't mean
Okay,
stealth.
all right. I'm just making sure.
I wanted disguise. Disguise is what I
Zero,
want.
what was yours?
13.
Not good.
That's fine. It's a versus check. It's not something that like it's a DC stuff.
Yeah, but I can roll to assist him.
Well, you didn't know he did poorly, so I'm not metagaming that. And shut up. I'm going to the
Well,
other
we
guys
beat
now.
together.
Shut your whore mouth. Thank you. All right, moving on to the trio who are now
But I can't help him with the zipper.
with this with the spacewalk. You know, I'll let you do a perception check after to see how terrible he looks. All right, I'll give you that.
Before you do that, you said to remind you that there was
Thank
an
you.
announcement.
You did, as you guys were like getting close to the end, you kind of like left off the machine and you had Brawl take over, like pushing it through. He was a lot more like hands heavy on pushing that machine down to get the hole open. It was actually a message from Tam Nilhar. He reached out to you and he simply said, dude, I have that in the specific note here. No, I'll just go with it. It just says, I'm still on station. I'm available to assist. Where do you need me most? And you get a chance to reply, but it's like it's going to be a text reply, and this is you get like a one reply and then messaging shuts off. You don't know it's going to shut off though.
Well, what's I doing when this happened?
You're working the machine to get the hole open. We're going backwards in time for a couple minutes.
Oh, okay.
Well, so Miller's I guess going to be a little selfish here. He's going to say for bottom of Forenses. Is that the name of the dome?
Forensis.
Bottom of Forensis, disable black boxes.
Perfect. Done. Okay. All right. And let me see. I'm gonna actually get Roll20 open because I actually have all of those domes labeled on the PyStAl overview. So I'll take a look at that. I moved the players there if you guys want to take a look.
Oh, Darrow. That's that's what I got wrong. All right, I can fix this now.
But Forensis is what you're looking at.
Yes, but no, I couldn't continue. I'm sorry.
That's fine. So if we are going to, we're back to you guys. We're getting past that. I forgot to do that little bit of retcon. So you guys are now outside of the boxes. Brawl has gone over to one and is literally going to try and like get into the patch and just beat it up, I guess. Is that how you're trying to damage it, Brawl?
Oh,
Just punch
that's
it.
how he's trying to do it. All right.
Can
This
you
thing's not
describe-
moving anywhere.
It's not moving anywhere. Could you describe what you do?
I mean, so it has that.
There is a panel on top of it that you can get open. You saw how Miller did it. I'm going to give you a freebie for that.
All right, and then it doesn't like. There's no like force of gravity really, so I can't like use that to like Superman punch myself like down into it.
You can hold on to like the lip of it and then pull yourself. It's not a great hit, but you can definitely hit it.
Or is this something that I could even just like attempt to just like brute force like tear off and then like
just toss
toss
scoop out into space?
Give me a strength check.
Okay, all right.
If he rolls a 2, he might.
Oh my goodness. For everybody unable to see that, Brawl rolled a 1.
He has one job. One. He has one job.
You could have just said I start tearing wires off too, and Dustin would have given it to you. That's the worst part.
I'm crying.
I think Nick is too.
So, Brawl gets his little hands, I don't know what you call rat hands, in there, gets a grasp on it, braces his legs on the thing, and he just starts pulling as hard as he can. He's putting his back into it. He's got like his tail like trying to push up against like the edge of it. Like he's just trying to get everything he can to pull, and his hands slip. And his mag boots, the force of his pull jettisons him backwards, detaches his mag boots, and he begins flying out into space, unable to correct himself as far as I'm aware. He's got one more chance to make a reflex save, or else he is floating away until assisted. Reflex save from Brawl, please.
It's my lowest save.
Well, I'm pretty sure strength was your highest check, so I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
He rolls the party's first negative.
Come on, do a 20. Be a 20.
15.
15 is exactly what I was going to make it.
Okay.
You absolutely slip away, but you're able to, again, with your tail. You had your tail kind of worked in a little bit where you're trying to like just get any sort of like grasp that you could. You're able to at least orient yourself back down with your tail, and you just manage to throw yourself. So you bounce unceremoniously off of the bottom of the station, safe.
Not floating through
Embarrassed.
space.
But you're not floating away into space and needing anyone else to take time with you. I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to let you think about what you've done. Seeker, what are you doing to your black box?
Seeker's just going to be looking at it like, oh, this just won't do at all, as he just starts rearranging all the cords to make it a much nicer looking, but totally dysfunctional black box.
Give me engineering for that.
Okay.
Nick, just be thankful I didn't see that.
Oh.
13. Ooh, I rolled a 2.
I like how your 2 is still passable. I'm gonna be honest. So you can like definitely make it like nice color coordinated. You're actually not sure what the effects will be when you do this though. You don't have quite enough immediate understanding of what in front of you. So what you're doing could theoretically backfire, which I did warn Miller about. I don't know if Seeker cares, and it is very okay. It definitely won't work right.
That was mostly just a way for me to sound like I was giving flavor to my action of destroying it.
Okay.
So, I mean, I want to just make sure as much is pulled out. I was just honestly giving flavor to it.
I'll allow that you pull it out and you leave maybe one end unattached for each, and you rearrange it so it's color coordinated. I'll go for that. That's fine. And that's more than enough you can do with that 10 engineering check. Miller.
All right. I want to take a quick look because I don't know the full extent of what this thing could do, but I want to take a quick look to see if I can see the most, maybe the most important piece of this puzzle.
Sure.
All right. Perception or engineering?
Engineering.
28.
So this looks to be a part of a drift drive.
Mm-hmm.
The stations themselves do have the ability to move through space otherwise. Mm-hmm. Drift travel, as far as you knew, and I think has been told to you, not actually a thing for the domes. They were never meant for that. That they were created before drift travel was a thing. Mm-hmm. So they were recent additions. You're able to isolate. I don't know the mechanics behind it, so feel free to utilize one of your sci-fi words. But there is a core component that like is what everything kind of plugs into for the drift to activate. You're able to identify that with relative ease. You do have to dig pretty deep, far into it, though. It's definitely not like a surface item.
All right. So he looks around and says, that looks to be the quantum coupler. So he starts like pulling random wires everywhere, and then he takes out his cryo gun, uses his new mechanic trick called overcharge, just kind of turns up a dial on the side, aims it at the quantum coupler, and fires.
Perfect. Okay. And so your cryo gun freezes things, but in this instance, it's going to make it incredibly brittle. So if it was to be activated in any way, it would shatter immediately.
Before
before
we proceed with this, gonna have you know that Brawl was going to do something very similar on his next action, but Chris happened to beat me to that punch. So I'm not taking what Chris was doing, but
actually, as I get back to you, you all have a message coming through your comms. And it's Chimera, who's back up in the Fallen Angel in the dome itself that you guys can exit out of that hangar. And she beeps through, guys, we're going to need some help here. I think the Border Space Union just found your hole.
All right.
There's no giant robots over there, is there? Watch out for that, too.
All right, so Miller goes, all right, Sika and, Shima, Knuckles, I can't remember the names I gave you. Go check it out. I'm going to disable this last one over here.
You have 2 left to disable because Brawl.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, I didn't know that. So,
having a tough time here might be a bit longer.
All right, I'll take care of it. You two go help Chimera. I will take care of these guys out here.
But, I mean, what happens if things go wrong?
I'll let you know.
Oh, Okay, maybe we can swing by and pick you up in the Fallen Angel.
Good luck. You're going to need it.
Are you splitting the split party?
Yep.
Are you splintering the party?
Miller, can I get a perception check?
Perceptionizing. 24.
You noticed that the comm went through while you were on the exterior of the station.
Oh,
Technically, communications were shut down.
yeah.
Just a heads up.
Yeah.
Or Chimera's communication went through. You can take that however you want.
Okay.
All right, so Seeker and Brawl, you guys going back up?
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
Miller, for the sake of time, are you doing anything differently with the other two?
No, I'm actually going to do the exact same thing because I think it works pretty well.
Okay, it'll just take you some time to manipulate that. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow the android and the Yosoki up the tunnel. As you guys get up there, what's the approach?
I'm going first.
Yeah.
And are you just climbing on up and like bursting into the room, or what's the deal?
Yeah, I mean, I would poke my head out, I guess, but I imagined that. No. Okay, so when we get to the hole, I'm going to poke my head into the hole to see if anybody's watching up at the other end.
It's not that far of a hole.
The good old-fashioned reverse ostrich.
I do have invisibility. I can make you invisible if you want.
Just do it.
That would be great.
Right
can-
before we get to the end of it, I am going to cast invisibility on Brawl. It lasts for
Can
4
you do that
minutes.
to yourself too?
I can. I'm not going to right now because I only have like 3 spells per day for 2nd level. So.
And that's what Secret says.
Oh, I thought you were asking out of character.
3 casts per day.
Well,
Brawl-
it's true. I do only have a limited amount.
Brawl quickly fades from view. Maybe a brief moment of panic for Brawl as he can no longer see his fists or his guns anymore. However, he is still able to manually clamber up the hole. You don't see anything on the other end, but when you do emerge, and I'll say you go slow because the invisibility gives you a little bit of confidence there that you can take your time. The doorway to you guys are in like the little controller's office with one hermetically sealed door and a glass viewport. When you guys climb on, you know what? I made a map. I don't think I uploaded it though. I don't think I uploaded it. I made a fun map using the Dungeon Fog tool, but I don't think I should upload it. That's fine. So what you guys have is you've got it's a smallish office, a glass viewport that looks out on the Fallen Angel, and then the door that you guys entered in, which is currently sealed. No one is in the room right now, but looking out the viewport out to the Fallen Angel, you see like lights, kind of like lights as if they're attached like maybe a flashlight or something, searching throughout the area, the hangar. And the entry hatch to the Fallen Angel, which was closed when you guys went into the controller's office, has been shut.
Okay, I'm gonna is there like a display on my compad saying whether or not messages are currently?
Yeah, now that you're in the system, in the station, you're not able to receive messages.
All right, damn, because then I can't really communicate with Seeker. I'm just going to. We didn't establish any.
Well, I'm there. I'm just below you.
Yeah, you could.
Okay. So you were following behind.
Yeah, I'm falling behind.
Actually, you can't talk to him.
Well, that's the thing. Is like I can't communicate. So if he's falling behind me, then he's falling behind me. But if
He
he's
is falling
not,
behind you, but there's no
Yeah,
atmosphere because you guys vented this area.
Yeah. Okay.
No, they can talk.
How?
Do we have...
Would it local radio work?
No, it wasn't
How about
working for
this?
you guys before.
How about this? Telepathically. Bro, what do you see up there?
Thank you.
Thank you,
'cause
Justin.
I don't have that.
That's true.
Looks like we've got some guys with flashlights in the other room where that ship was. And no sign of Chimera yet, though.
Are you sure they're people? Is it people or...
I
Shit.
just see lights, honestly. Bad vision.
If Rye were there.
Take a closer look. You are invisible.
All right, I go up to the window.
So the way this works is that there's about 10 feet off to the side that you just can't see because it's where the door is, and it goes further into the hangar, which is it probably goes for another 60 feet in that direction. Nothing that you can see has passed your line of view, which would be like going under the fallen angel and all that fun stuff. So as of right now, you just aren't able to see it.
So I can still see the lights moving, but nothing else.
Yeah, it does look like
Even
they
with
are.
dark vision?
What was that?
Even with dark vision?
Yeah, there's just no one's there. It's an empty hangar right now. There's like boxes and things because they were moving stuff in, but otherwise there isn't anything. There isn't anything for you to see. That's what it is. It's just an empty hangar with some boxes and things like that.
There's nobody here.
Well, that's not. Again, someone's moving lights.
Well,
they're off.
yeah, I don't see anybody.
Well,
I still see the lights, but there's no one around that I can see.
I might remind you that you are invisible. Maybe you should take
If I
an even
open
closer
the
look.
door, if I open the door, they're gonna know somebody's here.
How does the door open?
It's like a sliding, like a door that slides
Does it
into the
make
wall.
noise?
I will remind you, you are vented to space in this room.
Oh, that is also true.
Yeah.
So it will probably vent the rest of it as
Yes.
well.
Again, you can do like a quick open and shut, and you won't cause any damage. But Brawl is correct. This would be a very obvious occurrence.
Well, this is our only real option. I don't see what else we could do. Gonna have to go out there at some point.
I checked my data pad. The message from Chimera, does it have the timestamp of when it sent out from Chimera or from when it was received by us?
You got it in real time. For whatever reason, she was able to, on her ship, communicate out to you guys. It was a voice as well. It wasn't text. But you were able to see that, like, either through her ship or whatever reason, it was able to get to you guys on the exterior of the station. And it was real time, so just a couple moments ago.
All right. Okay. I guess. Is there computers in this room?
There is a computer bank, like right with the hole where you guys are is where the office chair was. You guys actually moved it out of the way to drill down into here. But yeah, there is definitely a computer terminal in front of you. You guys have actually used this terminal before.
Brawl is going to try something.
Yay.
Whether or not it's going to work, because nothing he's supposed to be good at works. So maybe he'll do something well for something that he wouldn't normally do. He's going to check to see if he can, if there's cameras in the hangar, if he can access those.
Give me a computer check.
All right. Maybe. Let's hope -1 is good.
What? What did you just roll? Were you being facetious?
Oh, you got -1 in computers.
I cannot believe you. Are you kidding me?
It rolls a 3, -1 is a 2.
I'm gonna be
Brawl's
honest.
favorite number.
I'm really tempted to critically fail you on this, but I won't. Needless to say, you're just not able to manipulate the computer well enough because of the 0G.
And I
You
can't
cannot
tell what
find the
keys
any
I'm
key.
typing. I'm invisible.
Yeah, you know what? Let's go with that. Like, you're having a real hard time being invisible, not being able to follow your fingers. I like that. No, you can't use computers and you can't break things. I'm not sure why they keep you around.
Oh god.
Brawl
What
just
are you doing up there? You know, invisibility is a very limited time
We'll
spell.
find the nearest space rock.
Oh god, it is so
Where?
good. It is so good for Brawl that rise in there. Oh my god.
Brawl opens the door in desperation.
Now, based on how you said that,
Yes.
you just
That's what it
opened the
sounds
door.
like. Yep.
All right, Seeker, I need to know where you are.
I'm in the crawl space, like in it, holding on.
You're holding on.
Yeah, because it's zero-G and stuff in there. So I'm
gosh.
like holding on, mag boots on,
So good.
traveling through this crawl space. that we
Okay.
made.
So you open the door, and what you see, Brawl, immediately you visibly see just the air from the room into you begins a whirling vortex just getting sucked into the room. And it's a big space, so it's a lot of air coming through. You get some like tools that were left maybe loose and unattended getting sucked into the room. And in front of you, there are two Border Space Union soldiers. One is a bigger looking individual, but with a full bodysuit on, including the mask. And another one's a smaller individual, we'll say human sized. Again, they're in spacesuited masks, and they're searching around the hangar. Except as you open the door, they immediately begin getting sucked into this doorway. You just opened the door. You're invisible and standing kind of in it. And you should give me a reflex save. As I'll say, your mag boots, you didn't turn them off, so you're not quite getting sucked out because you got the hand on like the door area and all that fun stuff. But they had no idea this was going to happen, and they get immediately like they launch towards you in the door.
I rolled an 11.
All right, the first one bumps into you and puts you almost on 1 foot, but as a Yosoki, that doesn't bother you so much. Make me another reflex save because you weren't quite able to clear the door with that.
Nah.
What was
I
it?
got a 6.
Yeah, the second one is enough to knock you off. So the big guy gets sucked into the hole. Seeker hanging on. Make a reflex save as well, Seeker.
Okay. What is my reflex? It is 4. 18.
Yeah, you're able to you kind of get hunkered down. You were ready for it because you were climbing anyways, and you kind of basically make yourself a part of the wall. And the big one sucks on past you out the hole.
Nice.
The next one, which you didn't know was coming, but I'll say that's enough of a save, is actually carrying Brawl with it. You see a jumble of arms and legs and a tail as Brawl and another Border Space soldier are being sucked through the hole.
He's not invisible still?
Did you Brawl is invisible? Oh, actually, I don't know. Does that matter if he gets touched or anything?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just
it doesn't break his
it's,
invisibility.
when they attack or something,
Yeah,
right?
when he attacks, it
Yeah.
will. So, yeah, he's still
So I lied. You don't see Brawl at all. You just see another Border Space Union soldier get sucked down. I'm not going to give you the save I was going to try and give you because you simply don't see it. Yeah.
Telepathically, Seeker says, "Good job, bro. Good job."
You're doing it.
That's 2 down.
Yeah. All right. So, Brawl, I'm going to give you one more chance here, dude. But
God.
you are right now hurtling towards space again. And you've got one last chance to grab the lip. I'm going to give the guards the same reflex save as you to try and grab on the edge as they get jettisoned out. Neither makes it. So right now you are getting dragged along into outer space unless you are able to grab on.
Roll 20.
Reflex
I
save.
don't know what I've done to you. I've been all but supportive. I've kept with you this whole time, knowing that hey, things might work out between us. So please give me this roll. And I got an 11.
Yeah, you needed a 15.
Yeah.
You
don't
get
have anything
jettisoned
to
into
reroll?
space. You're able to get yourself off of the person. You're not
Yeah.
connected to them anymore. But you are right now floating through space, invisible, and you've been propelled into space by the force of all the air rushing out, which is still continuing to vent out of the hangar as you left the door open.
And I don't think I can telepathically talk with you anymore because I can't see you.
Yeah, well-
I guess technically I wouldn't have been able to when you're invisible. Although I'd know where you are.
I'd allow maybe you're holding
Yeah.
his tail or something. I don't know. I'm not
That
that.
was your spell. That might.
But, I mean, now that he's outside, he's open to communications, right?
Yes, Brawl, you are able to start accessing your communication as you are floating away.
All right. Sending out to Miller and Seeker.
Seeker, you're not getting any response back from.
Yep.
Mhm.
That blown out into space, still invisible. Not sure how to proceed.
You have the rocket punch, don't you?
Yes.
Couldn't that propel you a little bit?
He can't hear you.
But
Yeah.
I'm also hurtling through
Yeah.
space.
Seeker,
That's
you
true.
need to shut
Oh
your mouth.
yeah.
Although I will say Miller made it, so I'm not super worried about the metagamey aspect.
That's well. I mean, I was waiting for him to at least contact me or
He
something.
did contact you.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I said Miller
Yeah.
and Seeker.
Oh, I didn't hear what you said though. Oh, you actually
said-
did say I'm hurtling out into space.
And invisible.
Oh,
And invisible.
okay.
Don't know how to
I'm sorry.
proceed.
I missed that entirely.
You finished up at this while while Brawl was hedging over what to do, you were able to disable the other two boxes.
All right. Miller just kind of sits there. He thinks he's like, okay, Brawl, that little fancy rocket gun I gave you, that would probably be at least able to at least correct your trajectory. If you aim it just right, opposite of what you are launching from, you can at least maybe stabilize yourself, and at the very least I could try to chuck you a rope as he fishes through and gets that titanium rope that I got several episodes ago. Yeah, that came in clutch, 50 feet. But yeah, go on. What do you say? What do you do? Please, Brawl, help us.
I'm trying to help. It doesn't work.
You.
All right.
Somebody has to be nice sometime, right?
So would that? I'm guessing it'd be like another reflex, right? If I'm trying to aim it at the right angle and I'm just hurtling and spinning through air.
I would say it would be just a regular ranged attack with some negative modifiers.
I don't really have an AC for that, so I am going to make it a reflex. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, guys.
Nice knowing you.
Or was that two rolls
This is
ago?
a roller coaster of emotions right now.
Oh.
So many Brawl clips today.
Oh.
As you successfully do this, what is Brawl saying either out loud or in his head?
Is it just a whole bunch of, oh my god, I'm doing it! I'm doing something for once!
Which god?
The space god spot.
Do you have a deity?
Now he does. Which one I haven't determined yet.
Triune? Is it
I
Triune's
give you
the space
Triune.
god, right? Triune?
Okay. Yep,
Yeah.
that one.
You're gonna have to look up the pantheon though. That was homework for everyone, is to have a deity, you bastard.
Oh.
I have one.
Or be atheist, Miller. That is an option. A weird option because you know they exist, but that's fine.
No. It's not that he's atheist. He just relies more on himself. That's his,
I opened up right to the page.
Wow.
Oh my god.
meant to be.
The luck right now.
All right. You are able to you're spinning around. You get it. You kind of close your eyes, just screw it. Boom, and the propulsion throws you back.
You know what it was? Miller gave him the inspiration.
It's true.
Or it's because it's Miller's invention.
Yeah, it's not anything Brawl did.
It's more like Miller's kind of pulling out wires. He looks up. Brawl, just shoot the opposite way. Thank you.
Seeker, what are you doing while this is happening? Since you can't hear anything.
Does that count as an attack?
I guess
Well, yeah,
Seeker
it is.
try.
That's how you activate it.
Yeah. So you probably would not be. Plus,
Invisible.
it might have been 4 minutes since then. I don't know.
So,
I'd
just
say
to
the
kinda-
invisibility ended for him. We'll just call it.
So just to kind of tell you where my plans of action were, if he had used that, he would have become visible anyway. So that's why I had the rope ready. I toss it in the direction.
Yeah, you're able to pull it off. Seeker, what are you doing?
He would probably attempt to be contacting Brawl telepathically
response,
still,
yep.
but no response.
Hello, Brawl. Still here.
so- What do you see now? What happened? Those two guys are gone. Brawl.
So the air is still venting out, and you're starting to get things like materials and loose cables and stuff are still shooting down this hole past you.
Yeah, noticing that Seeker is going to Can I climb out and take a look around just to see what's out there?
Can't see anything out there. Like there's now like maybe like a box has moved itself, like wedged itself in front of the door, so some of the suction is being a little bit like lessened because there's something like obstructing the door itself, but it is still like atmosphere venting from the hangar, which you do know at some point Chimera was in, so maybe having it venting is dangerous for folks.
Okay, I'll walk out of the door, move the box, and shut it.
I have a Roll20 map open, and I think I moved you guys to it if you want to open that up.
Oop. Yep.
For all of our viewers, this map was made using the Dungeon Fog software, I guess. It is something that is recently got kickstarted. This is from the beta, so I only had some resources, limited resources to work with. Also, I didn't size it right to the Roll20 because I was doing this really quickly. But this is the hangar you guys are in. Dungeon Fog is going to be a really awesome tool. I'm looking forward to that when it eventually drops to the public, and I'll let people know. This map took me all of 5 minutes to make, and don't say that looks like it because I'll drop some rocks on you. But yeah, really cool tool.
It looks beautiful, Dusty. It looks fantastic.
Oh, Miller lives. So we've got. I put the Brawl token and the Seeker token in the controller's office, which is down in the lower right-hand corner of the hangar. Then there's this little in the middle of like the southern wall of the hangar is the elevator doors that you guys got in through, and then there's the hangar proper, which is a pretty significantly large place. And at the northern end of the hangar, which is technically not the end of the hangar, but for the map purposes, I didn't want to go further than that. We've got the Fallen Angel like luxury shuttle at the end there.
Okay.
And Seeker, you move the box. Did you shut the door, or what's the deal there?
Shut the door.
Okay, yeah. So are you on the hangar side of the door or the controller's room side of the door?
I'm on the hangar side.
Okay, so you are perfectly good. You have now the hurtling atmosphere has stopped. Maybe like you got a little sensor saying that the oxygen level is low but slowly rise. Oh, you don't care. You don't even have a mask or anything because you're an android. Never mind. Yeah, you're good. You've landed. You're in the hangar. No one's there. You notice that the Fallen Angels like entry ramp, which is right under it, has shut.
Do I notice any? Can I do a perception check to see if I see anybody around?
It's a big open hangar. Unless someone's actively hiding behind a box, you don't see anyone.
Okay, so there's nobody around. Well, how am I supposed to contact Chimera? I'm gonna try communicating with Chimera's ship.
You get. You know what? Your message gets jarbled out and you get like a weird sending, but you do get like a relatively strong comm signal back from her. Give me a. Do you have engineering? I don't even know if it would be engineering. Give me engineering just to see if I can give you like if you can suss out why that is.
23.
If you had to guess, and it's mostly a guess, an educated guess, whatever the jamming signal is probably mostly focusing on personal comms or like larger range communication. For whatever reason, the ship's comm is not completely blocked. Now it could be because you guys are close to the edge of whatever the block is, because you guys are like in a basement sub-level of the dome. It could be the strength of the communication from a spaceship versus a personal comm. It could be personal connection Chimera has, and maybe she's got something weird going on there. But in terms of mechanically, it does seem like the ship is able to talk with you. And Chimera comes back and says, well, that was not what I expected.
We removed the obstacles?
I do believe they went into the elevator, at least one of them did, to get reinforcements. So I'd recommend you double time it to the ship.
Can I stop the elevator from working? Can I hack the
not
elevator
without an explosive.
Do I have an explosive?
Yeah, if you had an explosive, you could damage probably the elevator. I will say it's still pretty strong, but again, I'll give an explosive the ability. In terms of like being able to sabotage it, it's supposed to be sabotage proof. You guys have tried that before and it did not pan out.
I do not have one.
Like
Cook them all.
You could maybe barricade, but even that wouldn't stop it for very long.
Well, I could open the door again.
Possibility.
I think I might do, yeah. So I'm gonna open the door again just to slow anybody down.
Okay.
That might be coming through. And then, or actually, I guess once all the air vents out, it's not really gonna matter, huh?
You're right.
So, yeah, I'll try barricading the door a little bit more then.
for the elevators. All right. While you're barricading, Miller and a slightly frantic Brawl emerge from the hole you guys cut into the controller's room, and you guys are now all in the same hangar. If you open the door, Seeker will get pulled a little bit, but I'll say you guys are prepared for that shenanigan now.
All right. Can you just ping the elevators? Those things at the bottom, middle. All right. Well, yes. Miller is going to step out of the into the hangar.
All right. I gave you control again. I don't know why it doesn't automatically have you with control, but that's fine.
We took care of.
I also do not have control of my token.
Yeah. I'm doing it.
You
do now.
I'm just gonna tell Miller what happened. We took care of 2 of the guards that were posted down here, but I guess one got away and it went up the elevator to get reinforcements. Chimera is still in the ship.
All right.
Ready to go.
Could I assume when I know the elevator is running, just kind of like, is it like a regular like daily or one that we have where you could actually watch as it goes down different floors above it?
No, actually, and it's also it doesn't just go up and down; it also goes left to right. So
Can I hear
you probably hear a hum if you were like on top of it. But this is supposed to be advanced tech. It's not like silence is golden. You'd have to be like on top of it. Like you get like vibrations maybe, or like a slight hum if you were close to it.
Also, Brawl, where have you been?
What I want to do is I want to kind of wait for it, and if I know it is running, I'm going to use the my mechanic skill Overload, which just disables it for 6 seconds.
Okay, so you're hanging out there. What are you guys like? What's your plan though?
So what I was planning, I was hoping to maybe think that this is kind of like a bluff check in such a way so that like once it stops running, if anybody is on it, they will attempt to try to hit the same floor button over and over, but maybe the 6 seconds is long enough for them to think of a different plan out of the elevator to buy us some time.
Do either of you have explosives?
I do.
No.
You do?
I wouldn't really give that a bluff check. You really need to be engaging with the person to be at a bluff. I will say that they may think of their own plans, but we'll see.
Sure. But I do have, I have a couple frag grenades.
You
Could
would
we
potentially
possibly
be able
disable
to
it?
damage the elevator.
Okay.
Except you would be damaging the elevator for both ways. You would be. What is your plan from here, though?
Yep.
I thought our plan... Is our plan to get out of here with Chimera for now? Because if we don't need to go up that elevator, I mean, we could possibly destroy it.
It's true. Yeah.
Are all those boxes down below fixed?
What? Oh, yeah,
Air
sorry,
quotes
that was to Miller.
in
The black
character.
boxes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yes, they're all taken care of. We're on to the next set, I guess.
Okay. Then why don't we just go to the next dome? She can drop us off underneath another dome.
Hey, that's true. I was more worried that they'd shoot her down.
That's what she was worried about as well. As you guys are talking, and I'm going to let you guys plan like on the background, either jump into Hangouts or on the side. I want you guys to think of something that what you're doing.
All right.
You do get an interstation message come up, and you do hear it even in the basement levels, and it's that calming female voice simply saying, "Travel initiated in T-minus 10 minutes. Travel location, error. Have a nice day." And I'm going to jump over to Rye and Zero, who are now dressed. Sorry, Rye, give me a perception check.
Thank you. Nat 20.
3 in a row. Oh, well. Not in a row, but...
I'm going to have to jettison you into space.
Rye's day to shine. It's finally here.
Right. As Zero's like getting dressed into the armor, like you know what? Tell me how bad it looks and how you fix it.
So I turn the corner, I look at him, and it's just, that is ghastly. As I remember the costume director and try to immediately get into that role, and just, this is terrible. Absolutely. I mean, the patches are on the left and they should be on the right. What size are you even? And I start fiddling around with everything as I try to fix his costume, which is I roll a 22. He for one thing, he had every zipper not zipped up. He had the patches on the wrong side. His name tag was upside down.
I'll say he was going for speed.
Yes. It was terrible. And he had 2 different boots.
All right, you redisguise him. I will have your disguise check of 22 supersede his 13. You guys now are approaching. The firefight is still going on. A couple of the Border Space Union members have been downed. It looks like there may have been an explosive or 2 that were set off, and that was finally able to like jettison them from their entrenchment. They've fallen back a little bit so that you can no longer just straight up sneak past them, like I had given you the option clearly before you got dressed. Now you guys would have to actually like engage with them and walk by. I will say that the gang members are still actively engaging, and their numbers seem to have swollen. Like they've gotten more people swelled. I don't know, whatever. They've gotten more people recruited, and not necessarily Drenar's men, but more people joining the fray against the Border Space Union, trying to get access to the docks. You guys knew to approach from the side to stay well away from any gangs or thug members, because you look like the Border Space Union now.
Okay. So the is there a lot of frantic movement? Would it make sense for people to haul ass through?
Probably not.
Hard for you to say, but it depends on how well you act, I guess.
They would probably assume we'd be reinforcements as opposed to people trying to just get into the dock.
That's fine. I can, because of my previous knowledge of where the ranks are, I should be able to come up with some tomfoolery to get by.
You can try. However, I will say, you and I mentioned this before, nothing on the lower level of domes was in your recollection from the like lieutenant that you kind of scanned his memory.
Okay, so it was all in central.
Central. Yep.
Okay. That's fine. I could lie. That's fine. We still have to get through the dock, so I don't see any other way but forward.
With the options, do you want the GM's options, or you guys want to just suss it out?
I'm willing to hear the GM options for the sake of time.
Initial GM option was kind of similar to how you guys engage the Crimson Tri-Blades, which is to say smash and grab, so to say, and just trying to rush past them. The other option would be to join the fray against them and try to whittle them down. You have a slight advantage because you guys are coming from not where they're expecting. They've right now are dealing with a frontal assault, or you could do just as you say and you can try and get by. There's at least some wiggle room there in that you're not dressed threateningly, you won't be attacking them, and they're pretty busy. But they are, you just have to get through them. That's all.
Yeah, I'm just gonna... I look at Zero and just play it cool.
Zero gives a nod and follows.
We're so screwed. And I just start I walk with a purpose, and
you would have to walk basically through the gang members firing at the... walking I wouldn't recommend. You're going to get shot.
Oh, okay. Through them? Fine. I haul ass.
Okay. So you guys run through, instead of it making AC checks against you guys, could I get reflex saves as you guys get into view of the other side of this like 30-foot clearing? A couple of the gang members take pot shots at you.
How many do you want?
I rolled,
one from each of you is fine.
I mean, I rolled better than Brawl, but I definitely rolled a Brawl die. I got 8.
Yeah, I see your 8.
Mine didn't roll.
Try it again.
Did you have a space before your slash?
I think so. There was a macro for it.
It's fine. It looks like it's just slash roll 1d20 plus 8, please. And
you got some error in your macro.
That's a number sign.
That's a pound sign.
Yeah. That's because that's how you have to when you're looking up a macro.
Just type RD20.
18. All right, so you're able to get by without getting shot. Again, you can just move a little bit better. Rye does get shot at. Does 16 hit your AC?
EAC?
Yeah, it is an EAC. It's a little energy pistol shooting out at you.
Boy, how'd he do it? 16?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you're. Oh, that's the wrong die. I'm sorry. That's only a D4. You take 3 points of damage as a blast grazes you, singeing your armor a little bit. But you eventually do break through like the like blast, going back and forth, and you're able to sneak around the corner where you're now abreast with 3 different station security members in like the front line. They've moved some boxes back. They're just trying to block the doors at this point, and they're still engaging with the gang members on the other side. And then there's one Border Space Union member kind of hunkered down behind them with another box, and he's like just kind of ducking down, trying to get some sort of communication system to work. But unfortunately, their jamming works both ways.
Okay.
As you approach, do you say anything, or you just try to go by?
Just gonna go by.
All right. I'm going to give them all perception checks, and they have. What's the lowest disguise score you guys have?
The lowest disguise we have is
Yours was a 20. Is that correct?
20. Yep.
All right. Let me give them.
You made me look better than you. How do you
Okay.
feel?
Well, I mean,
Well, it makes sense.
yeah.
You don't realize I look better than you.
Oof. Oh no, that's the. I'm sorry. That was the. I was gonna say that was a high perception. That makes more sense. Okay.
Think about it. If you look better than if your costume looks better than Rye's costume, and Rye did your costume, Rye's happy.
So none of the frontline guys give you any heed. You're able to get past them fine. The guy who's trying to work on his comm unit looks up as he sees you both, and like he immediately throws up a hand and says, "Halt! We need reinforcements. Help us out here."
All right. Let me think. Do I have any knowledge of what's behind the what's behind them, like anything of interest to the military, armory or a nurse's station or something like that?
On the docks? No, not specifically in that nature, but if there were going to be any supplies, the controller's office is not too far from where you guys are. That's where Patrick would have been working out of when you had encountered him. There might be supplies as a generic term there that you could kind of suggest.
Okay. What rank is this guy? Relative to me, above or below? I don't know military ranks.
He would be slightly above. He's I don't know military ranks either. He's not like the same tier of the guy you read the mind of. He's a couple tiers below that, but he's above, grunt rank and file.
Okay.
We'll call him a sergeant. I don't know what that means.
Okay. So I I rub my throat real quick into a preset mode on my vocal modulator.
Yep.
Which is a bit deeper. Which I use for authoritative voices and whatnot. And I say, "I'm sorry, sir, we can return after our mission, but we've been sent from Central Dome." I name one of the streets that I can remember.
Sure.
Has fallen. We were sent here to recover something. And I'm sorry, sir, I can't tell you what that is.
Okay, make a bluff check.
Nat 20? 32.
Are you friggin' kidding me? You're welcome.
He looks dejected, and he kind of looks over his shoulder as another one of his comrades takes a shot to like their shoulder, kind of similar to where you just got shot, and you kind of feel like a ping, as you remember like how that briefly felt. It didn't do any damage to you, just kind of knocked the wind out of you a little bit. But you're watching these guys are getting worn down, and the guy you're talking to, the arbitrary sergeant, looks dejected, and he says, "Yeah, Brass has been just so kind to us today. Yeah, go for it. Maybe on your way out, you could throw us a hand."
Understood. And we keep going.
Perfect. You guys get back down. Your ship isn't too far off, so you got the big long hallway thoroughfare where there's different hangars off to the side. Yours is not too far down the way, and you're able to duck in there. And when you get there, I'm assuming you enter without an issue.
Yep.
When you get in there,
I don't know if Zero had any other plan. I don't want to speak for you.
I'd just be looking out for what is it? Any more soldiers in here? I mean, I imagine they're all.
Everyone was focused at the front at that point. They're getting pretty worn down. you guys, as you were approaching, heard the 10-minute till travel. So you guys are going against that timeline as well. I'm sorry, I didn't let you guys know that was real time for you. You guys are able to get by. You have a couple minutes left. You get into the hangar. There are 2 ships left. There is the Indecision, which now I'm going to throw this up on roll 20 so people can see what I am talking about. I didn't add anything new to it, but I want to be able to kind of go off of the prior description. J-Man, can you hook me up? Awesome. All right. So the ship looks relatively close to what we have on the screen here, which is in the upper left corner of the map, Justin. That is, the paint scheme is slightly off, although it did go with gray and red highlights, so not totally off. This did come from zerohour.com. I always want to pitch them if you were looking for starships. They also now do Starfinder stats for their starships, which is amazing. This is the Indecision. What he added on for you guys. So you see how you've got kind of towards the rear end of the ship, which is a little triangular. You've got these angled wings above what looks to be maybe your engines. What the team added were basically an additional set of faux wings that look relatively similar to what you already have, but they're smaller and they're attached to the front. So it basically looks like you've got these bigger wings to the back of your ship, going up and down. And then towards the front, there's now an attachment that looks just a little bit smaller on the front, kind of giving you like a uniform appearance there. And then right where you guys access you got the door to getting into the ship is set back in the ship, but before you get to those back wings and engines I'm talking about, before you get to the door coming from the front of the ship, there's also now this like slightly odd circular structure on both sides of the ship. What he did was he just added metal pieces that changed the ship's profile. So if someone was to look at it with a quick cursory glance, they would no longer see this model of ship that was at least slightly on a wanted list somewhere. Now, again, someone boards your ship, they're going to tell really quickly that those pieces are actually just literally fake additions, basically spoilers on your ship. But otherwise, though, from exterior, he did enough of a job where you guys can travel in relative safety, assuming you don't encounter the mysterious actual makers of the ship. It's still pretty likely they'd recognize their work. Questions on that before I move on?
So just to be clear,
Yep.
those additions do not add any functionality to the space of the ship.
They are
just
literally
spoilers.
Hollow. They are
Cool.
literally hollow.
All right, just want to make sure.
That's why it was a quick addition, and it didn't
Yep.
take very long. It also didn't require them to actually wire anything in. It is
Yeah, I like it.
hollow. They are spoilers. Okay, so you guys get to the ship, and I need Zero and Rye to make reflex saves.
At the ship?
Well, you entered into the hangar. You see the ship, and then
10.
22.
Zero. You also take 3 points of stamina damage as you quickly dodge, but it singes you a little bit. A laser pistol blast. And what you have before you is Patrick, the dock controller, holding a small pistol that looks like it's made out of junk components, going, "Oh, spoop, oh, spoop, oh, spoop, oh, spoop! I'm so sorry." I didn't.
Southern accent.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to do Southern accents anymore. I've lost the trick. But yeah, Patrick, the dock controller, is outside of your ship. Stevethan is also kind of ducked in the doorway. And Not Sob is just kind of hanging out there, picking his teeth with something as Patrick is utilizing his junk laser.
I point up at Not Stop. That better not be anything of mine.
What he's picking his teeth with?
Yes.
He swallows it.
He's a dog.
Immediately looks at Patrick, gives him just like a little bit of a look like, "What the hell are you doing?" Reaches over, grabs the gun, rips it out of his hand, and then walks onto the ship.
I thought you were talking to me
Yeah, I know. That's
for a
great.
second. I got so confused. I'm like, you mean Rye?
Nope, he doesn't. He means Patrick, the ex-dock controller. I will say the only other ship in the hangar, because the hangar itself isn't individual, it's a bigger, it is partitioned, but it does go down larger. One of the partitions did have a ship further down the line. There's one other ship in the hangar with you guys. It's not just you alone. In the ship, you also see that there are some scorch marks and pieces. You guys did know there was an explosion that went off in one of the partitions further down. Didn't damage anything because the partitions are there for safety for the most part. But the hangar looks pretty rough further down you go.
Based on the explosions, could we tell if they were caused by external forces or if they came from inside the ships that blew up?
Do you want to use your limited time remaining, which is probably about 5 minutes, to actually go over and check it out? Because it would require you guys to get deeper in there.
No, I just meant more from
straight to the pilot
the
chair.
partitions we passed by.
No, so you guys are in the first partition. I think we had mentioned that last time. You guys are in the very first partition. As you go further down, there are other ships. You didn't have to actually pass anything on your way.
In that case, I would just go to the cockpit.
Okay, perfect. So
Actually, I would
you
go
guys,
to the science first.
what are you doing at the science station?
I wanted to attempt to scan outside to see if there are any ships or anything like that just outside.
Okay, as he approaches the science station, I just kick him off of the chair and I say, "You fly! You fly! I type."
Are you able to use the science station?
What do you need? Computers?
I don't know. Seeker, what do you need?
Yes, computers.
I got computers.
Okay, all right.
Not as good as him, but I want him on the...
No, that's fair. So what I want to say is that on the ship right now, you have Stevenson, the fellow you picked up from Revel. You have Patrick, the ex-dock controller. You have Not Sob, the goblin, formerly known as Sob, and then I got conned. I don't believe anyone else is aboard your vessel. Is that correct?
Rex.
Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. Rex, the little spindly robot that has been your assistant. He waves with his little clampy hands as you guys run past. Doesn't say anything. And then, yeah, okay, fine. You guys are on the ship. Rye, give me a computer check as you try to do a scan.
Here we go. 12.
I was hoping for another nat 20.
Oh no, not a 12.
You're able to tell that you're definitely getting readings, but you're not getting any specific details from any of them. You know that there are ships out there. There are some weird objects that are scanning weird when you try to pick them up, but you're just not able to. Seeker has reconfigured everything to be color coded, and even the letters on the keyboard don't actually matter what letters on them. It's whatever color he painted it.
I got 7 bleeps, 2 bloops, a swirl, and 5 squares that are the color blurple. What is blurple?
And Seeker, you are able to take off if you so choose.
What?
Damn it, 0. You are able to take off. They look alike.
0, Dustin.
0. 0. You are able to take off.
I love how 0 is both Seeker and Rye.
I can't help it. I'm having a bad night.
So the information he gives me is there's stuff out there, but he can't really tell me any more than that.
Yeah, there's a large number of readings.
Can we attempt any communication with Miller and them, because they were outside last time we checked?
I don't think you actually knew that they were outside, and at this point, they're inside.
No.
So you try, you get no feedback.
Okay. In that case, I confirm with Rye. We do want to try going out.
Well, and I'm panting at this point because I'm freaking out. Between the smoke bombs and the red people with the swords and the costumes, I don't remember what we're doing in the first place.
We were trying to get our ship so we can then go pick up our crew.
Yeah, I suppose we need the engineer.
With that, the voice, the friendly voice, calming voice comes over. Travel commencing in 10, 9.
We
To
go.
the metal!
We go.
I read it in an old book once.
So you guys blast out of the hangar. You maybe catch whatever was guarding the hangar by surprise because you're not immediately bombarded with blasts. However, as soon as you break through and you get to the horizon of space around you, there is just a large collection of warships. These are big ships. Then they're pocketing between them. There's some smaller ships, but these are massive capital style ships. And if you kind of scan the horizon, they're here and there all throughout this horizon, encircling Pyramid Station Alpha. And the countdown triggers and the air around you, like inside of your cockpit, like almost like seems to burn a little. And then Pyramid Station Alpha, like in your vision, if you were to like look back at any of your cams, like expand just a touch and then shrink into nothingness from view. Any of you guys who ever experienced drift travel, which would have been anyone to get out here actually, because I don't think any of you are native here. You guys witness what you acknowledge as drift travel. The Pyramid Station Alpha, in some way, shape, or form, has entered drift travel, except a ship exits the hangar of Central Dome. Oh no, actually, I'm so sorry. Not Central Dome. What was the dome you sent Tamnil to, Chris? Forensis?
Give me a second.
I think it was
that's
Forensis.
I'm sorry. Forensis. Yes.
Francis Dome does not travel into the drift. There's a bit of like an explosion as the hallway that was connecting it to the other domes rips apart violently. However, it remains stationary. And the same thing happens for Central Dome, which is a bit more of a spectacular explosion because it's connected by so many hallways. Like parts of it are just ripped and it's sent kind of spinning slowly through space. Additionally, I'll say your sensors ping them more than you can see them with your naked eye. There are a couple of almost like life pods, like sending out like emergency signals that drop out one of each of the domes that disappeared. Like a life pod drops out. So that's 8 life pods.
Is it actually that
Sorry,
many?
7.
9.
7 life pods pop out.
9.
Well, 9, except that 2 of the domes aren't traveling. So the other
all right. So okay.
7.
So it would
7
be-
life pods pop out.
Well, I didn't count Dead Dome, so
I skipped Dead Dome as
okay.
well. And that is what you guys have left over. And I'm going to leave you guys there for a moment while I double back to the other guys. You have minutes until the station initiates travel. What are you guys doing?
Oh.
So
The elevator begins to move.
I was going to
overload
interrupt before.
You got 6 seconds.
Yep. Go. Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Nick, if you had something to happen before, that's okay.
Well, it kind of changes what Ryan, Zero would see our
I'd say
actions.
secret.
If we're able,
I haven't said what they see coming out of Central Dome yet. I've held off on Central Dome.
But what if we were going to try to affect another dome?
You don't have time to.
Yeah.
Then largely unchanged.
Yep. All right. Well, then we're getting out of here.
Yeah.
So overload and Miller says, "Let's get on the ship and get out of here. We don't know how much time we got."
Okay. So you guys get onto the ship. The little door, like underneath it, like opens up as you guys get closer. Justinian is at the end, and instead of his like normal kind of like straight back stiff attitude, he's just waving you on frantically. His hair's a little disheveled, and he looks panicked, and he's trying to wave you guys on as fast as you can. As you rush past him, the lip of the door kind of shuts. And Kamira is in the pilot's chair looking back. It's a not too big of a ship. She's able to look back from the pilot's area and see the rest of the ship. So she sees you guys getting on, and she says, "What's the plan, fellas?"
We got to get out of here.
That's all I needed to hear.
Fast.
She pushes a couple of buttons. The hangar doors, like the little yellow lights, flash in the hangar. The area begins to vent, although it was already pretty well vented. And you guys see as the elevator door opens, a large hulking Vesk in Border Space Union armor exits out of the elevator, and he's carrying a heavy cannon. Both the Vesk and the heavy cannon turn to the ship. The like barrels of like this Gatling gun begin to spin up, and then they are immediately jettisoned into space as the floor opens up below the ship, sucking everything else in. The floor below the elevator doesn't open up, but the explosion of atmosphere sends him hurtling straight at the ship, or hit them straight at the ship and then down. And you guys drop out of Central Dome. You guys probably have 5 minutes before the domes like disappear. What is your plan of action, not knowing that they're disappearing? Probably whatever Nick was going to say.
Yeah. So we were looking at the map. No is one of the closest domes. How close is it?
You'd be able to get there in probably 2-3 minutes.
All right.
So our approach was we were going to use the ship to get to the. We're already at the bottom of
This tier of domes. Yep, you're
Central Dome,
underneath
yep.
Central
So
Dome.
we
You
were
just
going to-
exited.
We were going to fly by over to No and
Using
use the
debris
guns
as
on the
shields or as cover.
and
Kamira,
then
is
we
there
were
any
going to use the
weapons on the
guns
ship?
on the ship, if any, to fire at the black boxes underneath. No.
It's equipped with basic lasers. I've never actually had to use them.
How many?
I believe just the forward facing.
So just one then?
I suppose. I don't shoot things. People shoot
All
them
right.
for
Can
me.
I get a do an engineer's check? Just see what we got on the ship.
Whatever the basic tier of laser is, and it's only.
Well, I mean, is it so? It's just one forward.
What again? I don't know what the basic laser is, but the basic laser forward. That's it.
All right. Oh, well, what I was getting at is there multiple guns on there?
If the basic laser is like 2 prongs going forward, but that's it. It's one shot. That's
Okay.
what you guys got.
I could hop on the computer and see if I can target it any easier.
Yeah.
So you guys
do
give me
that.
a computer's check as you're out and you're trying to target. So you guys are flying over to No.
No. Yep.
Ugh. 14.
I mean, 14's still not bad.
27 for me. For
Wait,
computers.
what was your check for?
What is that? I thought you said you wanted me to
I do.
No, Seeker being
Oh,
the
all right.
science officer's doing science officery thing.
My bad.
So in terms of like targeting, they're relatively small and they're in like the base of a larger metal structure. The computer systems aren't able to help you target. But are you guys planning on drive-by shooting? Is that the plan for
That's
the black
yeah.
boxes?
That's basically it.
All right. They're not like moving or anything, so the DC isn't still too bad to hit them. Or I guess they're whatever the armor class is in space combat. I don't remember what the.
Is Brawl your gunner?
Brawl, do you get to the gun station? Brawl?
I.
Well,
Brawl
what was
wasn't
Miller doing?
intending to be the gunner.
I assume Miller's going to head to the engine room because there's no one back there.
Well, I was
All right.
thinking
If Miller's heading to the engine room, Brawl
Miller
can't
wants to shoot.
Well, I mean, what can I do in the engine room though? I mean, if we're going to be setting
Not
up
anything to help now.
roll, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I think Miller would actually just kind of take the way. Yeah, he's just, I'll take care of the gun and just kind of push by him.
Yeah,
Not even push by, just kind of walk by confidently, but not dismissively.
Okay, sure.
All right.
Yeah. Feel free
okay,
to show
Brawl.
light as much as you want, Brawl.
Yeah.
It's okay, bro. Once we get a ship with arms, we can let you punch things in it.
great.
It was.
That's been working out for me too.
So you guys get under No Dome. You have 2 things happen simultaneously. You draw a bead on one of the boxes and you're able to take a shot. And Seeker gets confirmation on his screen that you guys are now being targeted by about 30 odd vessels. So the engineer should probably be in the engine, boosting the engine. But you know,
About 30 more friends.
Well, I mean, I'm already making my way to gun.
Yeah, no, make your attack roll. You got the bead, you got the shot, pull the trigger.
All right. It is 19.
No, yeah, that'll hit. You expertly detonate one of the black boxes. It explodes spectacularly. Like a little bit of blue light emits from it for a moment and then fades. And all of us in silence because we're in the vacuum of space.
Mhm.
And I'm going to say that is when you see all of the domes, including No, disappear. You get that little bit of tension in the air. They seem to expand in your field of vision, and then they shrink to nothingness as they enter the drift. And you do see at the bottom, your explosion actually caused a little life pod that was jettisoning out from the bottom at the same time to get struck and begin spiraling off into off of trajectory. And it looks like it took some damage, like smoke's trailing out of this escape pod that you detonated the box next to. And you also notice that Central Dome has not entered the drift, and like you see explosions behind you as the hallways detach violently. And Forensis, where you had sent Tamnil Har, is also there. And you also notice right before the station disappears, the Indecision bursts out of one of the domes below, and then like you can see them fully once the Pyramid Station Alpha has disappeared. Seeker, you notice pretty quickly that comms are up.
Hey, everybody, we can talk to people now.
Right, I guess you'd see the same thing because I think you're sitting in the science officer.
I hail the indecision.
All right. You are being targeted. They're not immediately on top of you, but it does seem that they are aware of at least the fallen angel.
Is it open comms right now? Do I have do I know all of this?
Up to Seeker.
I did say.
Well, you said that. You open comms. That could be.
I open comms when we're all in the same room. There's not like multiple rooms to this.
Well, I just think you like have like a headset if you're like doing communications thing.
Does the Indecision see the fallen angel?
Yeah. Yep.
We are not getting targeted, but they are, right?
Correct.
I hailed you too, by the way.
You just got a hail from Seeker.
I understand. I was just establishing to make sure, and I wouldn't know that they were being targeted, right?
Nope.
Okay. So I just reach out with the comm. My good God, Abadar, it is good to see you boys.
Oh, hello, Ryan.
Guys, we are being targeted.
I was just about to say that. We have about 30 friends looking to have some fun with us or something.
Dusty, is this just us, or is our communication being picked up all around?
Ship to ship, like it would require someone to actively be attempting to get into your communications, and it's not something that you guys are just doing on an open channel.
Okay, guys, we got to get out of here somewhere safe. I suggest Shima, you send me the coordinates, or send us the coordinates to Pyramid Station. I'm sorry, God.
I was just gonna say.
Right, Captain, send us the coordinates to Pyramid Station Beta. Get us out of here.
That place is creepy, but we gotta go now. and I beep the boops and shout out, "Good luck, boys! Yeehaw!" And
how
I slap.
long
I
does
slap.
everybody
Hold on, 0.
3 minutes.
Yeehaw! And then I.
Okay,
slap
you know what
on
I was
the
gonna
shoulder.
ask.
What was that, Rye?
I said I shout out what I say to them. Shout out yeehaw, and then I slap 0 on the shoulder like it's the horse's ass. Just.
And now I'm gonna respond like I knew this all along. Just so you know, it's gonna take about 3 minutes before we can jump.
Correct. As you guys, as Rye is no longer at the science station, he's going to miss the alert that you guys are also being targeted by about 30 odd ships. No one fires at the ships yet. However, the crew of the Fallen Angel right now, if any of you are looking out the forward viewport, a large mechanized head kind of comes into view as 2 arms, again large arms, grab onto the hull of the ship, and the viewport's looking in, like scanning back and forth into the cockpit. And this is, again, it's a large mechanized figure, at least humanoid in shape. The size of the head is, I guess, 18 meters in circumference is, I guess, what I have here. So it's rather large, and it's holding your small pleasure craft in its hand, and you get a direct comm of, "This is Border Space Union military. State your clearance code now." Query. You guys told Kamira to punch the drift drive, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
As he says this, she leans over and like punches in, like the coordinates already punch in. She punches the drift travel, and you guys get an interior notice that you've got 3 minutes until the engines are primed. The drift engines are primed. You are not able to move while you are priming the drift engines. And she looks back at you guys and she says, "I can talk to him if you want, but I'm not going to have much good to say."
Probably better than what I have to.
You want me to take this one?
You're the magistrate's wife.
That's true. You
I
have more
think,
clout than we.
If anybody, you got the best bet of getting out of here.
Fine. She clicks the open comm, and she does keep this channel open to the indecision, and she says, "This is Kamira Stoyer, wife of Alden Stoyer, magistrate in Central Dome of the late Pyramid Station Alpha. How can I help you, dear? The voice comes back. You're not getting a video conference. It's just coming like a direct line from this mechanized suit that's holding on to the ship. And it says, one moment, and some background noise. And then you get, all right. Mrs. Stoyer, your husband has already been apprehended. You are to surrender yourself in the shuttle to Border Space Union military services, and you will be apprehended upon arrival to the command ship. Do you have any questions? Chimera looks back at you guys.
I thought you were waiting for.
Yes. How does a mechanized suit in space fare against a ship entering drift?
I'm not actually sure myself. We can try and talk him and stall him for another 2 minutes to try and see.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, see if we can get a physical person
science.
to
I have
apprehend you.
physical science. Could I do a check to see if I might know what would happen if this situation were to go through?
Check the sciences. I'll say this is not a normal occurrence because, again, mechanized units and docking ships moving through space, through the drift space is not normal. But give me whatever you think checks appropriate for some science knowledge there, and I'll let you know.
Yeah, I got physical science, which makes sense. It's physics.
I'll give it to you. Yep.
30.
Ooh.
So the way the drift travel works and the way that the thing is holding on to you, you say it's probably about a 50-50 chance that it either comes with you without any issue at all, or the arms get ripped off like the hallways were in Pyramid Station Alpha. It's hard to say. It's a little bit more in terms of you need to know exactly what the specs of the drift engine are on the ship, which are a little arbitrary at this time. And again, you have no frame of reference for the mechanized suits itself. If it is drift enabled, it may not have a problem. If it's not drift enabled, it could still get pulled along. It's just like if it is in the drift, it would also be stuck there.
But our ship would be fine.
Yes. No
Okay.
indication that your ship would be damaged in any way significantly.
So, guys, I think as long as we are able to drift out of here, we should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not they're going to be fine is a completely different thing.
It's
But
fine.
we're good. Either
Maybe
way.
we should ask. Maybe we should ask them what you're supposed to be apprehended for.
So, yes, Chimera, stall them as much as possible.
And maybe see if they can get a physical person over here to take you off board ship. Just to stall them a little longer.
Where are you from? A trash heap? Do you know how big their
Yeah.
ships are? They're going to park me in their ship, and they're going to have a whole category of physical people to come apprehend me.
We should be fine as long as we wait out the 3 minutes. We will be fine. So let's please.
She flips on the comm and she says, "I'm sure whatever my husband did has nothing to do with me. I was honestly thinking of leaving him anyways. If you just let us go, I see no harm in that, right?" And she lets the comm off. I'm going to make her roll diplomacy while she has some back and forth with this guy. And she did not roll as well. Coming back over the comm for a couple of moments of back and forth. "Mrs. Stoyer, I'm truncating all communications at this point, and I'm going to be towing you in. Don't do anything stupid because you're just as likely to get blown out of the sky as apprehended." And then you hear a static click as the comm line is closed. And she's like, "If he starts moving us, I'm not sure how the drift engine's going to like it."
Can I do another
Brawl.
physical?
Brawl perception.
All right. Let's see what happens. Oh my god. An okay roll, guys. I got a 20. Not natural, but I got a
But
20.
You needed a 21.
You notice, and maybe it's just because of past rolls on the ship that you've held, this thing's head, and maybe its neck area, probably right in line with the gun, like the gun ports, or the barrels, I should say, on the fallen angel.
I do the thing.
I was waiting for it.
Brawl kind of tries to slide Miller out of the chair, but it's like
No, I got this one.
Maybe he's
I'm sure he can't miss.
anger because the dome that we were trying to take out actually left.
Yep. So maybe you try to push him, but it's the chair's bolted down, so he just swivels, and then you just reach over and you just slam the fire button, and the blasters. You don't need to roll. There's literally no way to miss. They connect with the thing's neck and part of its lower face, and they sever it. It's up close. It is not meant to be blasted really at all. And you see as the head erupts a little bit and starts flying away, and the body's also pushed back, more in surprise, because you do notice that the body itself is still able to move and functioning. It just seems disoriented and as if you knocked out at least its sensors. The headpiece does not appear to have been the cockpit. You get a little bit more of a view as the chest starts filling the viewport, but it's big enough that you can't really make out any real details. And a portion of the chest opens up, and you see that there is a pilot inside, and they make a rude gesture at you. Their armor is, just for the person you guys their spacesuit is it's green with orange piping throughout it. And the helmet is like a bluish white, and that's all you guys see as your ship blinks out into the drift. What the Indecision sees as their ship is following them into the drift. It looks like they weren't actually approaching you the same way. They had the mechanized unit, which you saw latch on to the fallen angel, and you could hear all the comms. No one had immediately hailed you. However, because you guys weren't moving, you weren't considered a threat, which is why you weren't blasted out of the sky. So they were just going to wait. That being said, you enter the drift as well, as you kind of see. What's your reaction as you see the fallen angel lasers in the front end shoot out and strike this thing in super close proximity? This is Rye and Zero.
I think my reaction would just simply be looking stunned without saying anything. Just a stupid face of, what?
And that's the stupid face that we see as you disappear into the drift. You guys are going away from the domes, so you guys aren't going to enter in any sort of wake for them. You're not able to connect them. Not that drift travel is a little bit weird. Entry and exit, it's not finite space. It's not tit for tat. There's no A-B connection. I will say there's a little bit of a wake you can enter sometimes if you enter drift relatively soon after something. So theoretically you could give chase, but with your current setup and what else is in the drift, you wouldn't really like it at the end. So what I will say is you guys get out of dodge, and that's where we close on the crew of the Indecision and now the Fallen Angel as we wrap up our prologue arc. Elsewhere in the universe, and it takes about 5 days for this all to happen, and we'll talk about a little bit more what happens during that time of 5 days. Your communications are going to take just as long to get there as the domes. You physically getting there would take just as long as the domes. There's no real finagling to help alert anywhere. So what happens is internally for the Border Space Union, it's known as the Sister Systems Initiative. In the Pact worlds, it becomes known as the PyStAl incident. And Chris, you have that list available for me?
Yeah.
You guys will eventually find this out, and it'll be off screen that you find out. So you guys will over time learn that the following things happen in the Pact worlds. All right, so first up, where's Control Dome going?
Control is going to Absalom Station.
In what is probably one of the biggest travesties ever to happen on Absalom Station, the theoretical center of the universe, which is the fastest place to get to by any drift travel, Control Dome appears out of the drift unexpectedly. It begins smashing physically through. There's a stationary fleet that is not military fleets, but there's a fleet standing outside of PyStAl, and it's actually where people kind of live and interact with and stuff like that. Smashing through ships there, causing untold life loss, and it crashes into. If you look at Absalom Station, which we'll look at probably next time, sir, for the next arc, there's a dome structure also in Absalom Station, and the control dome smashes into that, causing both to erupt. Pyramid Station, the control dome is eradicated. Everyone that you guys don't know living in it are killed, and there is a large amount of life lost in the upper echelon where like the rich people of Absalom Station live, and it's a direct explosion. The station is standing. It's a little bit stronger than that, and it's got some magical kind of protection behind that, but the force of the dome wipes out a lot of the leadership on Absalom Station and a lot of the people that control finances.
Okay.
Forensis, we decided, is not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Darrow, where's Darrow going?
Octurn.
That dome, you guys never get any feedback from. You guys never find out the nature of what happens to Darrow. It does
Okay.
not make any news. There's no similar explosion. Ibrahim.
Abraham is Castrovel.
One of the capital cities of Castrovel has a similar fate as Absalom Station, where the dome just smashes in, and like a mini nuclear weapon on the planet, which does not have as much of the magical protection that Absalom Station benefited from, just obliterates the city, many of the surrounding towns and like villages, and leaves a smoking crater. And we'll talk about where that is in the future.
Sure.
Castrovel being the planet that Rye is natively from.
Mm-hmm.
Central Dome.
Eox.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was gonna say on the plus side with Castrovel, you have the unique situation where there is no unified government. It's very much city-state, so it's still bad.
It was the Lashuntas that were targeted, not the elves or the Formians or anything like that. It was definitely, it'll be a Lashunta populace that was targeted.
God damn
Oh,
it.
you are right. It is not. It's not like a one-stop shop.
All
Yeah,
right.
there is like one unified people. That's the elves. They are pretty good about it, but the Lashunta, they're all over the place.
Yep. Central Dome didn't go anywhere.
Right.
About the nature of the domes that remained behind, I'll get to that in a little bit.
Alrighty.
We'll pick up that next time. No, where is No Dome going?
Verses.
Right. Do you know which city would be like the capital of Verces?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, that's fine. I'm sorry. Verces is actually where Brawl's from. Is that correct?
That is correct. So I was gonna say maybe leave that for next time.
No.
His house.
No.
I get it.
Roll a reflex save.
The No Dome Brawl, you will eventually come to learn that the No Dome smashed into the city where your family lives on the outskirts of. The city itself is obliterated. All surrounding areas are obliterated as if a nuclear weapon went off. And to the best of your knowledge, and you won't have in the year spanning this arc and the next arc we're going to cover, you will not have gone back yet. But as far as you know, your family was caught in the destruction. Factory Dome.
Oh no. Oh, I thought we were done. I'm sorry. Factory
No, I've
Dome
got three more.
Is Eox, I believe.
So he sent the embezzled money off.
That's what you're angry about.
Patrick, my family's
Factory
dead.
is Abalon. I'm sorry.
Factory is Abalon.
Yep.
It's another strike. It's a surgical strike, destroys a major city. You guys don't have anyone important there, so that's not a problem. Industrial
Yeah.
1.
Eox.
Oh, you guys saved both the Eox domes.
Nice.
Oh, no, you didn't save Industrial 1. I'm sorry, you left Industrial 1.
Yeah.
Okay, Industrial 1 does not crash. You find out later that it lands with its normal, the design of the domes was to eventually land on a surface.
Mhm.
It lands on the surface of Eox. It still exists on Eox. You can go to Industrial Dome on the Eox planet. However, the news never report what happened to any of the survivors, and the dome itself is deserted of all pistol survivors.
Alright.
That's something that you will find out later, if at all. Industrial 2.
Triaxis.
Triaxis is another surgical strike, not relatively important to you guys.
Okay.
But in this one fell swoop, the Border Space Union has launched surgical, basically nuke level strikes on major population areas, and effectively wiped out the bulk of the leadership of the Pact Worlds, including we'll get more into that nitty gritty when we pick up our next arc. But that includes like their what little military protection they had in general, their small organized government, and again any real big money movers in the area have been obliterated in one fell swoop. We'll talk about the year at large because we're going to pick up next week with Nick's one shot, the following week will either be Nick's one shot or we'll be back with our next arc. And we'll cover, there'll be a year gap between where we see the players now and where we pick up with the player characters. And for anyone watching, if you have any friends that you think would be interested in the show even a little bit, I'd strongly recommend getting them geared up for that next episode of our Starfinder campaign, because we're going to be doing our damnedest to make this a jumping on point for new viewers where they do not have to go back and watch all 29 episodes of our prologue arc, unless they want to. We would really love if people did, but I want people to be able to jump up and be current and hang out with us on Twitch and join all of that stuff. And the way to do that right now would be, jump in for that next episode. We'll be doing a slight renumbering of, it'll be prologue arc, episode 1, and then this upcoming episode will be whatever we name the arc, episode 1. So it'll be a little bit clearer for people to tell what exactly they're looking at. But yes, this is
next season.
This is the end of the first arc, first season. We're not stepping a timeline, so that's why I'm using arcs, but season would be appropriate. Of the Starfinder campaign of Nova. I almost said Novus Ordo.
Wow.
That's a old Pathfinder name that we had. We are developing a show name, so if you guys want to hang out in Discord and help us with that, or we'll talk about it in the after party in just a moment. Before we get to the after party, does the party have anything they want to say as we close down and you guys kind of spiral off into the drift towards the Pyramid Station beta for now?
I have a few choice words.
You don't know at this juncture.
I know.
Okay.
First of all, congratulations everybody for not dying, except for one person maybe dying like 5 different occasions thanks to an excellent rolling system that I even prayed to, and it still gave me like a nat 2.
Yeah.
They followed it up with a nat 20 somewhere in there.
That was thanks to Miller. So thank you for saving Brawl, Miller.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to say or say for the viewers specifically related to the closing of this episode?
Yeah, Patrick.
We haven't gotten to that part yet. All right.
But, go Patrick. You got 4 nat 20s today.
That's true.
Yeah.
To wrap up this episode and move us to the after party, I just want to remind everyone, even though we're doing, I think, Pathfinder next week, we'll be coming back with Starfinder soon. And until then, never split the party.
Yeah, us.
Yeah, roll 20.
Yeah, us.
All right. Wrap this episode.